Hey, what's up, guys? Oh man, it's been a day. I just wanted to jump on here and, courtesy of Daniel, we're going to talk about positioning. He called it positioning, which I'm pretty sure I completely understand what you mean. I like to call it cash heavy. I'm slowly writing a book. I'll get done with it eventually one day. Writing a book is difficult. But in the comments, Daniel had said that I should do a follow-up video about positioning on one of my later videos. And for those that don't know, positioning is positioning. It's getting yourself prepared to make a financial move, whether big or small, hopefully big, because the bigger the move, the bigger, bigger the risk, bigger reward kind of thing. So none of this is scripted. This is all off the top of my head. I'm just trying to do this and think about it. But, this is actually going to be a piece in my book, and I call it cash heavy, getting cash heavy. And as Daniel mentioned in the comment, it's what Warren Buffett's doing right now. You got to start looking at your money like an army of dollar bills, and each dollar is an individual soldier. If you got a 5, it's 5 soldiers, so on and so on. And you look at your money like an army of dollar bills. So in the beginning, to get yourself in a position, you got to do, the financial peace kind of stuff. You got to do the Dave Ramsey snowball effect. You got to start paying off your debt, paying down your debt, building your credit, things like that get you in a great financial position to be able to make better and bigger moves, or bigger and better moves. I'm smoking on a Barclay 1492, I think it was. Got a cup of coffee, Black Rifle coffee. I just got off work a little bit ago, took a shower, did the whole, shit shower shave kind of thing, and came out here to make this video with you guys. And I want you guys to know that this is just me. This is just me talking to you guys. I don't consider myself to be a content creator, but I guess ultimately I'm creating content. If this channel grows, I might switch it up a little bit. You got to be flexible. You got to be able to kind of shuck and jive with the river, however things are flowing. You got to kind of be able to move with it. So if this channel grows, then I guess I'll adapt to it and grow along with it. But as of right now, it's just me, just a guy talking to you guys. And about, if you guys want to hear my backstory, leave it in the comments below. There's other videos on my channel. It's a little difficult to kind of create whenever, it's a little difficult to make content without any type of feedback. So if you watch any of my other videos, it was me making just content, just kind of messing around, but no feedback. Nobody's talking to you. And so it makes it a little difficult, but you got to keep going. So if you guys want to hear my backstory or go, talk about any of that, man, I've been through it. I'm not out here in Lambos and private jets and, got 1,000 rental houses, and I don't have all that. But I have been where some of you probably are. I've been homeless. I really, like, I know people say that to make their content or whatever sound better, but I have. I have a whole lot of camping gear that I bought just for that. If you guys want to talk about it, leave it in the comments below, man. Let me know if you want to know my backstory, but I'm going to try and stay on topic because I'm a rambler. I love to talk and people and all that. I love it. So to go back to it, financial positioning, what I like to call cash heavy. And eventually it will be a chapter in my book, but going cash heavy. Knowing what I know, where I'm at in this process, I would be willing to sell everything I have for the right move right now. I'm talking, I'd sell my personal vehicle, I'd sell my furniture, everything if I needed that to get to where I'm going. I'd be willing to sell. I'd be willing to sell these pictures behind you and everything, just to get to where I'm going. That's how serious I am, and that's how confident I am in myself. But being cash heavy, or putting yourself and placing yourself in a financial position, allows you to be ready to make those moves. You're like the freaking point guard, or you're ready. You're there. You're ready to pivot, and you're being cash heavy. Once something pops up, you're able to jump on it. And this doesn't just have to be for real estate. Real estate's a bigger investment, but this can be for, let's say that I'm trying to keep it on a low level, and don't take offense to that. I'm trying to keep it just down, because everywhere you go, just so you guys have an understanding of what I'm doing, everywhere I look online, it's $1 million, $1 million. You know, people beating you to death about making $500,000 a year. And, oh, if you only make 400 grand a year, you should be embarrassed. And my business did $1 billion last year. And I get it. There are people out there on massive scales, but we're not one of them. So I'm trying to get you out of the mud. I'm trying to get you to your first 10,000, your debt-free journey, the whole process. And it's hard. It's very hard. And for anybody in that process, let me know where you're at, so I have a better understanding of where you guys are at, and I kind of know the community I'm talking to. And that way I have a better just understanding overall of what's going on with everybody. Where I'm at right now is I'm cash heavy. Okay. I've paid off my debt. I've been at this for a long time, but I've paid off all my debt. I'm 100% debt free outside of my basic living expenses. And you need to know that for yourself. I was going to do a video at some point about that, but you need to know that for yourself. What does it cost for you to live? And I mean, bare bones, knuckle dragon, mammoth, caveman style dwelling live. What does it cost for you to survive? It cost me $40,000 a year. It's right under that. It's like 38.5, we'll say, but $40,000 a year for me to physically reside on planet Earth. It cost me 40 grand a year. And I figured that number out. Now I'm going back to positioning and cash heavy, but this is all part of it. I figured that number out, what it costs me to live by how much my rent is, lights, water, gas, because that's what I need for my home. And if you want to really knuckle drag it, man, you can cut that shit out. But most of us want to live in comfort with air conditioning. So I figured that out with my rent, lights, water, gas. I have a paid for vehicle, but I did include my car insurance. I do include everything, because so rent, lights, water, gas, cell phone bill. I do not include things like if you smoke weed, cut it. It does not get, if you want to smoke, that's your business, but it does not get included in this. If you drink alcohol, it does not get included in this. I do not include cigars in this. I have to have cigars to live. No. Rent, lights, water, gas, and food was basically mine. I didn't even include a cell phone. For those of you that don't know, if you want to hear this story, I lived 2 years without a cell phone, 4 years with no internet. So I'm coming back. I've only been on the internet now. I came back online January 2024. So whatever month we're in, September, I've been on the internet, 7 months now. So if you want to hear what my life was like with no technology, shoot me a message, man. Let's talk about it. I got no problem making that video. But you need to figure out what it costs for you to live on planet Earth. Bare bones, knuckle dragon, caveman survival. What does it cost you? $40,000 a year for me. I know I'm repeating myself, but that's lights, water, gas, rent, and food. And I had a few other little small expenses, and I probably threw in the cell phone bill now and this and that, but 40 grand a year for me. Hopefully yours is less. I have child support as well. So if I didn't have child support, which mine is $1,000 a month, a little over $1,000 a month. If I didn't have child support, then my expenditure would be way down. It'd only be like probably 30 grand, or actually it'd be like 28 or something. And so, but I have to have that. So that's included. Rent, lights, water, gas, and child support is included in my stuff. So you need to figure out what it costs for you to live, physically reside on planet Earth. Once you get that, that is your base of what you need to be making. And then from there, everything else needs to turn into, okay, if it costs me 40 grand a year to live, then I have to at least make 50 just so I have extra money to whatever, eat a steak once, or smoke a cigar or something. But honestly, at 40 grand, here's a rule of thumb. Your income should be twice your age. And I know somebody's going to be out there and say, hey, man, I can't do that. Yes, you can. You really can. You probably need to bust out 2 full-time jobs or something. I'm not telling you to do anything that I wouldn't do or have done. So ask me my backstory. There was a time when I was homeless, riding a bicycle, going to Texas Roadhouse, making $300 a week. And this was in 2019. You understand? So feel free. Ask me my backstory. So once you figure out what it costs for you to live on planet Earth, you need to go ahead and make sure after you sit down and say, hey, it costs me 35 grand a year to live. There's no point in even looking at jobs that pay less unless you're willing to work two of them. But there's no point in even looking at a job that's going to pay you less. So you might as well just go ahead and say, hey, you know what? If they're not going to pay me enough, I'm not doing it. You're going to say, well, I got it. No, because now you're wasting time. And every man that has age on him knows exactly what I'm saying. If it costs me 40 grand a year to live and this job's only going to pay me 30, then that's still going to leave me $10,000 in the negative. And I've wasted my entire day at this job, because that's companies now want you to, we'll talk about jobs later, but I'm in the negative now. So I'm making only 30 grand. I've wasted my entire day and I still owe $10,000 for survival, and I don't get to do anything. There's no point in me working this. I might as well just go all in and be $40,000 in the negative and be really broke instead of wasting my time. So that way, I can't accept jobs that don't pay me enough to live. I don't know what your living situation is. Like I said, mine's 40 grand. So once you get that base down, then you sit down and you say, hey, you know what? I'm taking 65 grand a year, 40 grand to live. I get to keep 25. Yeah, you got taxes, this and that. We're not going that deep into it. But roughly, let's say that, anyways, we can cover the debt payments and things. If you guys want me to do videos about paying off debt and structuring that, let me know. But I'm going to get back on topic of positioning. And once you've done everything, hopefully you've done all your due diligence and you've positioned yourself in such a manner to where you're just, hey man, my credit's good, I'm debt free, my car's paid for, at least you got rid of negative debt, maybe everything's paid off, not your house, financial peace, snowball effect kind of stuff. And now I'm sitting on 30 grand cash. Well, you know what? This real estate market has to drop. It has no choice but to drop. Cars have no choice but to drop. I say this, and I'm not going to put a date on it, because every time something bad happens to where it's not really bad. It's good for the economy. It's good for us. Every time something happens to where they should drop, the government jumps in and saves them. All these bank bailouts, all these things like that, they should have let them fail. They should have went on ahead and let all the financial markets suffer. And basically, they should have done what I'm telling you to do. Cut the fat out of your life. Cut the alcohol, cut the Burger King, cut the bullshit. And that's what the government should have done with the American economy. And they should have just let it fail. And it would have sorted itself out. It has to, and it will. But they weren't going to do that. They wanted to prop it up with fake money, and that's what they've been doing. So it's impossible for me to put a date on it. It's impossible for anybody to put a date on it. But we're running thin. So it is coming. And I would say, if I had to guess, if I had to put a date, and I'm going to give you a big one, I'm going to say that you're looking between summer of 25 to about 2028. That's what I would say. I kind of want to say 2030, but I'm going to, be lenient and say 28. Anybody telling you the market's going to crash by Christmas, they don't know. They don't know. They're just hoping that you believe them enough, and so on and so on. They don't know. Nobody knows. Now, there's some insiders that probably do know, but they're not on our level. We're down here. You know what I mean? We're down here. So you're down here in the peasantry community with me. So, I like a cigar. I'm kind of letting it burn up talking, and speaking about Warren Buffett, if you guys want to know what the Warren Buffett scam is, leave it in the comments below. I would love to tell you. I'm not just going to give it away for free. So, if you made it this far, hit that like button, leave it in the comments below, and I will tell you what the Warren Buffett scam is. Warren Buffett scam. Listen, this is education. College is cool. If that's what route you want to go, I'm not going to knock it. You don't need it anymore. You need books a million. That's what you need. I've spent years sitting down. I've been on this journey for 8 years now, and I've sat down and I've learned everything about the economy, the financial system, and I try to break it down into layman terms so people can understand. You need to get yourself out of debt. It's hard. Business, stocks, real estate, okay? Business to make the money, stocks to grow the money, real estate to hold the money. Those three things right there will make you rich. Business, stocks, real estate. Pick any one of them and dive deep into it and do not come out until you are an expert. Business, stocks, real estate. And business kind of goes into all of them. But pick any one and dive deep and do not bring your head back up until you're an expert. I've gotten a lot of questions and a lot of comments over the past few days. It's pretty hard for me to answer all of them. I remember Daniel's about positioning, and that's positioning to an extent. I hope I explained it. Having an army of dollar bills, and each dollar being a soldier, and you're getting your soldiers prepared for battle. But in order to do that, you have to go all the way back to the beginning. You got to clean up your debt. You got to clean up your credit, because your credit allows you to borrow more money in case a deal pops up. When these deals pop up, when that housing market crashes and these deals pop up, right now I'm cash heavy. I'm cash heavy right now. So if I find a house that's foreclosed on, the bank wants to get away from, I can jump in there and grab it. The way that you go and find these houses, if you don't find them online, most likely a lot of times they're not online. You drive around and look, and you'll see, if you drive around and look and you see those yellow tabs or whatever color they are, pink slips or whatever in your neighborhood, in your area, your city, you see those things on the doors, condemned, private property, no trespassing, the grass is all grown up, roof's kind of falling in. Go take a peek, take a look at it. Some of those houses you can get for literally, I've seen houses, 2,000 square foot homes sell for $100. They were a little junky. They needed some love, but at the same time, that lot that they were that junky house set on. So let's say you go buy this house, this, 1,500 square foot house for $100, and that piece of junk, man, you go ahead and have somebody tear it down for $15,000. Oh, and they're getting ready to build a Walmart right around the corner or right behind it, and you sell that lot for $40,000. That happens all the time, but you got to be cash heavy to jump in there and play the game. Because the reason I say that, this is positioning. All right. I hope I'm explaining this to where you guys can understand it. But the reason I say that is because these big guys, they're cash heavy. If they're not cash heavy, then their credit is so good with the bank that even if they don't have the money, if they're wrapped up in something else, I know guys right now, I know contractors right now that are wrapped up in millions of dollars. Now, I know one guy that's building 900 houses outside of Nashville, and he could still go to the bank, even though his money and credit is wrapped up in these 900 houses. His credit worthiness is so good with the bank. He can go there and be like, hey, I just want to grab this house right here, 40 grand. Cool, no problem. Here you go. I can't do that, but he can. That's a level he's on. So you need, hopefully all of you can get to that level, but that's positioning. He's not only positioned himself with cash and credit, but he's also built a name for himself and a brand for himself that his business is so good, they're just going to give it to him. Even though he's strapped for cash and credit, yeah, we know you're good for it. You'll get it back. And that's really is. It's not what you know, but who you know kind of thing. So you need to do the same, and you can do that on your level. Tax time's right around the corner. Don't spend it. Don't spend your taxes. It's literally right around the corner in a couple months. You had fear of missing out. Do not get involved with FOMO thinking, I got to buy this, buy that. Don't get involved with FOMO. Taxes are right around the corner. Some of you guys are going to get back $5,000, $8,000, $10,000. Don't spend it. Don't blow it. Don't waste it. If you don't know what to do with it, let it set. If you are not disciplined enough to let that money set, then take that money and pay off your debt. At least get your credit right. Don't do shit. Pay off your debt. I personally, knowing what I know, but I'm a very disciplined man, knowing what I know, I would take that. Let's just say that you did get back, we'll say $10,000. Yes, people get back 10 grand in taxes at the first of the year. Let's say you do get back 10 grand. I'm such a disciplined man. I would stick that 10 grand to the side, act like I never got it, and I'll go back to work and start paying off my debt. Because deals pop up all the time, and it does not have to be real estate. You could take that 10 grand and maybe you just found a $1,500 car that is not. I bought a truck for $10,000 from my old man, one owner. It was a 2001, or it is a 2001. It's a Dodge Dakota 2001. I paid 10 grand for it. It had 98,000 miles on it, one owner. That thing was in mint condition. 20 whatever, 3 years old, 23 years old. I've had it for 4 years now. So I bought it when it was 20 years old. Perfect condition, 98,000 miles on it, non-smoker, everything. Paid 10 grand cash for it. It was a deal. I bought that truck for 10 grand. Man, I probably could have sold it for more, but I wouldn't. I kept it. I still drive it to this day. Drove it down to Florida not too long ago, or a couple, year or so ago. But anyways, that 10 grand does not have to just be real estate. Play at your level. You can start couch flipping. I mean, I don't do that, but people do it. You can start couch flipping. You can start 10 grand will start you a lawn service. You know what I'm saying? That's enough for you to get out of the rat race. Yes, you need to work your full-time job and then build your career, but that is positioning. You're positioning yourself for a better life. And that's the way you need to look at it. So I hope this explains that. If you guys want to ask any more questions or anything else, I really do hope that explains positioning. I like to call it cash heavy because it allows you to pounce on deals when you find them. I could be driving down a back road and see an old Crown Vic or Grand Marquis or box truck or whatever, and I can go buy it. Like, hey, man, you know what? I like that old truck. I'll give you $2,500 for it, and it's mine. I like that motorcycle. I like this. I like that. I buy it, and I turn around and resell it on the internet if I wanted to because I'm cash heavy. And that's what positioning is. You're always ready for the deal. And I'm always ready to, man, I'm ready. So always be in position. Always be in a ready position. Get cash heavy. And if you know you're going to need to use your credit, at this moment right now, I'm going to get off here in just a second. But at this moment, 2 scenarios. If I had a job let me put it like this. If I had my life under control, but I had poor credit, but I was able to financially pay my bills and feed myself, I would start getting cash heavy and I would forget about the credit at the moment. Okay? Because the cash will allow you to buy things to make more cash, which can allow you to pay down debt and clean up your credit. You want more money. So let's look at it like, what is that, integers? Let's look at it, I think it's integers, basic math, you got your integers. Let's look at it like 6th grade math or whatever that was. You got your line and you got your zero in the middle and you got your negatives going one way and your positives going the other way. If I'm here at 0, you're kind of in the negative because you got bad credit, but let's just say we're here at 0. I don't want to go back and start paying off. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to go back and start paying off my debt just to get myself back to 0. Now, if you don't got any wherewithal or gumption, we'll talk about that in a second. But I don't want to go back paying off debt just to get back to 0. I want to go ahead and start moving forward into the positive. Moving forward into the positive is getting cash heavy. Yes, I know I'm negative on credit, but I am heavy on cash. Let's say that you got $50,000 cash but you're $50,000 in debt. I am not going to take my $50,000 and put it towards the debt. I can make moves with that $50,000 to turn that 50 into 100. And then I can take that 150 out of that and pay off my debt. Now I got 0 credit with $50,000. I'm not going to take my only 50 though and go backwards with it just to get back to 0. You understand what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. I can do a visual for you guys if you want me to do something like that. But definitely, if you're at 0, let's start moving forward with cash. Forget about the credit. Don't change your life. Don't try to change your life up. Don't try to rent a new apartment or nothing else and mess with your credit. Let's just start moving forward with cash. And then get cash heavy with negative credit. Forget the credit, get cash heavy, and then we'll start looking for deals. Once you get a substantial amount of cash, I mean, depending on what you're trying to do and how much hustle you got in you, you can start this with a couple thousand. Let's say $5,000, and you can start flipping cars. If that's what you want to do. That's not what I do, but if I had to start all over, that's what I would do. I'm just past that point. So there's that scenario. I forgot what my second one was going to be because I did so good on that one. So, man, it's difficult. And I really did forget the second scenario, man. So if I think of it, I'll probably think of it as soon as I turn this off. I'll probably think of it. I forgot it had something to do with credit. So, anyways, you can walk into a bank with your money and borrow against your money with bad credit. You can't walk into a bank with no money and get money. So, what I mean by that is, I guess this is a second scenario in a sense. Let's say I got $10,000. I can walk into that bank with $10,000 and say, hey, I need to borrow 20. Bank's most likely going to give it to me because they're going to take my 10 for collateral. It's very possible. Very possible. Now, let's say I have no money and I walk into the bank with nothing but credit. And I say, I need to borrow 20. For what? They'll give it to you for a car. Because that car, if they know if you don't pay for it, they'll take it from you and go resell it. They'll give it to you for that, but they're not going to give it to you for a business loan. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. So, and we're not going to get political because I could say a lot about that, what they're doing with business loans right now. But as far as us, we're not going to be able to do that. As far as any U.S. citizen right now, you're not going to be able to do that. I haven't had to apply for a business loan. I try to stay out of the banking system. So that's another thing you need to understand about me. I try to stay out of that banking system. I will get involved in it at some point, but at this point right now, I'm not involved in it. I completely understand it. I understand it in its entirety, but the bank does absolutely nothing for me. So I don't really leave my money in the bank. I don't leave my money in cash. It just doesn't grow like that. I'm more of a prepper in a way. I'm a silver stacker, gold. That's how I preserve my wealth. But we could talk about that if you guys want to know. Feel free to leave it down in the comments below. But I hope that explains positioning about getting cash heavy. You got to go back and clean yourself up. And if you got some wherewithal and some gumption, start at zero and move forward from now. And start saving cash and build up a substantial amount. I tell people all the time, you need a $10,000 emergency fund first. Now, I really believe that. Put your 10 grand away and then start making moves. That way, that 10 grand is always your base. 10 grand will give me 3 months. If I go broke, man, my $10,000 emergency fund will give me 3 months to figure it out, which I don't plan on going broke. This is a game. This is a game. And you got to learn how to play this game. Back here. I've learned how to play this game. I'm still learning. I'm not a master of this game. So if you have anything that I might need to know or read, feel free to let me know. Make sure you smash that like button if you're still watching. But if you have anything that you think that I might need to know, or if you see any mistakes or flaws, let me know. Feel free to call me out. Let me know. I'm all about it. I'm here to learn from you, and hopefully you guys can learn and take away something from me. But this is a game. And $10,000 is your base, so you do not end up not playing the game. And by not playing the game, I mean homeless, bankrupt, all that. $10,000 saves you from getting kicked out of the game. And then everything else, your first 100,000, like, to be honest with you, man, people aren't even taking you serious until you're pushing 100 grand up on deals. You want to do some big boy shit, you're going to have to start dropping 100 grand on some stuff. So you need to start stacking your army, building your army of dollar bills, stacking your dollars, getting yourself into a great position and be ready to jump like a lion on a gazelle. Jump on the best deal that you see, because they're out there and they're coming. There are deals all over. I see one a day when it goes to the housing market. At least I see at least one a day. I'm getting ready to start jumping on some soon. I just had some other things I had to clean up in my personal life, but I'm getting ready to start jumping on some deals real soon that I'm seeing in the area that I'm in. Right now I'm outside Nashville, Tennessee. But I do understand the Atlanta market. I understand the Nashville market, and I understand the Kentucky and St. Louis market. I'm also St. Louis, and outside of Nashville is a gold mine, and St. Louis and Detroit are gold mines. I would say that St. Louis before Detroit, but they might meet around the same time, will be your next real estate booms. I believe St. Louis and Detroit will be some major booms. I think that I believe in St. Louis heavy. I really do. I believe in St. Louis, Missouri, really heavy. So much I might move there in the next few years. I'm not sure, but I believe in it. And we're talking St. Louis real estate boom 2030. That's what I'm thinking. Detroit, same time frame. Those cities have too much American history for them to let go. And somebody's going to step in and take over and start rebuilding. I promise. Watch, you heard that shit here first. Somebody will. There's too much history there. Chicago, no. I would love to say Chicago will, but Chicago will not be a boom. It's already boomed out and it's too expensive. People are looking like us. They're looking for the next gold mine. They're wanting the next gold rush. St. Louis and Detroit. If you're in those areas, man, start paying attention. If you're not in those areas, start paying attention anyway. Anyways, I didn't mean for this video to carry on this long. I hope you guys got something out of what I said. Let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. Should I make shorter videos? Do you guys mind them being this long to talk to me about these things? Should I start doing lives? I mean, you know, I'd love to network with some of you guys. Some of you guys seem really smart, really bright. A lot of hardworking people out there. I hope that this helps you understand positioning, getting cash heavy. I hope you get a little better insight into me, and I'm going to shut up now and I'll holler at you guys later. Thank you for watching. Smash that like button, leave some comments. Let me know what you think. Take care.